Hello, writers. Come write with me. My name is Mykela Greenwood. I create worlds for mind adventures. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Write with Mykela. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell so you can go on this journey with me. Today, we are going to talk about passive voice. Passive voice is where the subject of your sentence is acted upon. He or she or it receives the action expressed by the verb. Don't worry if you think I'm speaking Greek. I'm going to give examples. The first example sentence is, the ball was kicked by the boy. In this sentence, the ball is receiving the action and not doing the action. Why do we care about this? Well, if you're writing a story with all passive voice, then your characters are being acted upon instead of acting. To fix the above sentence to active voice, you would switch the ball and the boy. So it would read, the boy kicked the ball. In the first sentence, the ball was the subject. The second sentence, the boy was the subject. I know, not fun stuff. But Microsoft Word will check for passive voice for you. So we'll talk about that after our writing exercise. I'm going to give you some sentences in passive voice. You will rewrite the sentence in active voice, which isn't always easy. When you are creating your scenes and writing your story, just write. Then, when you are editing, you can check for passive voice and rewrite or reword those sentences. So this isn't a fun tool like alliteration is, but this editing tool will help your stories come alive, and it's a necessary tool. So for our writing exercise today, I'm going to give you 10 sentences. They will all be in passive voice, and I will post them down in the comments as well. So they will all be in passive voice, and you are going to rewrite them in active voice. Don't worry if it seems hard, because it can be. It really can be, especially if there's no object and the subject is switched. So if I just said the ball was kicked, then you wouldn't know what to flip it with. Okay, so once you do that, then we'll come back and I'll read to you how I rewrote the sentences. If your sentences don't match exactly, that's okay, because some will have a missing object to switch to the subject, and you will have to come up with a new subject. For example, the phone was left on the table. Nice sentence, but it's passive voice. To fix this sentence, I might say, she left her phone on the table. And you might say, he left his phone on the table. Or even, someone left the phone on the table. But you didn't know who they were, so you just put someone. In this case, we have to decide who or what the subject should be. Okay. Here are the 10 sentences. Number 1, the yarn was tangled by the cat. Number 2, the food was eaten by the dog. Number 3, the light was turned on by him. Number 4, papers were scattered all over the room. Just a hint there, the room does not scatter the papers. Okay, number 5. Her clothes and hair were whipped around by the wind. Number 6. John was left in charge. Number 7. She was blamed. Number 8. He has been manipulated all his life. Number 9, they were caught. Number 10, The music stopped. Okay, pause the video, rewrite the sentences. The first 5 I mostly gave you an object, except for number 4 there, for you to switch with the subject. The second 5, you will need to supply a subject. I'll see you in a few minutes. Welcome back, writers. Let's go through these together. Remember, this exercise is to help us improve our writing. Number 1, we are going to change the yarn was tangled by the cat to the cat tangled the yarn. You could have added a phrase at the beginning like, while playing, the cat tangled the yarn. Now it's easier to add to that sentence because yarn doesn't do things on its own usually. Okay, number 2, we're going to change the food was eaten by the dog to the dog ate the food. And of course, we could expand this sentence too. The hungry dog eagerly ate all the food. Number 3, we are going to change the light was turned on by him to he turned on the light. You can add to these sentences as you like. Number 4, we're going to change papers were scattered all over the room to something or someone scattered the papers all over the room. Now, if you were writing this in a story, you might know that a thief or a burglar scattered the papers, or perhaps the authorities scattered the papers, or the wind blew through the open window and scattered the papers. Once you are writing a story, it might be easier to find a subject to use. Also, you can put what subject you used in the comments. Okay, number 5. We are going to change her hair and clothes were whipped around by the wind to the wind whipped around her hair and clothes. I think when I stated it above, I switched hair and clothes, but that's okay. Now, some of the harder ones. On these, your sentences may not match mine because you had to come up with the new subject to do the action. So number 6, we're going to change John was left in charge to the superintendent left John in charge. Your sentence should have a subject where I have the superintendent. Number 7, we're going to change she was blamed to the teacher blamed her. Your subject should be where I have the teacher. We're going to change number 8 from he has been manipulated all his life to society has manipulated him all his life. This one would be much easier if you were in the middle of a story. This would be because it might be his best friend has manipulated him all his life, or his brother has manipulated him all his life. Just play around with it. Number 9, we're going to change they were caught to the authorities caught them. Your subject might have been specific, like the police, the teacher, their parents, etc. Number 10, we are going to change the music was stopped to Tom stopped the music. Here you could use a lot of different subjects. Nowadays, a call coming through on our cell phones might stop the music. You can put your subjects in the comments or put the whole sentence. Now, if you are critiquing someone's comment, then keep it civil. We're learning here, so there's no need to be rough on anyone. Now, I know the exercise today was a bit painful and not as fun as what we normally have. But remember, passive voice is something you edit out, not something you use to bog down your thinking while writing. When you're writing and you just want the story to go, just write. But when you read it and you read the passive voice and it's not moving like you had imagined it, then you rewrite your sentences and suddenly you have action. I mentioned earlier that Word will check for you, and we will go through those steps in a moment. Also, you can Google the steps. But first, I want to warn you that Word has an algorithm that isn't 100% accurate. For example, Word might underline was tired in the sentence, I was tired. But there's no action here. Tired is a state of being. So you will have to judge whether or not you need to fix your sentence. Is there supposed to be some action? Not to get too technical, but basically Word looks for a to be verb with a past participle, and it underlines it in blue, or it underlines it in the dotted blue line. To be verbs are be, am, is, are, was, were, being, been, those kinds of things. Many verbs in their past participle form end in ed. So that's why it would do tired, because tired is like past tense at that point. But not all past participles end in ed. Because remember above we had was eaten, was left, were caught. We had those things in the sentences above. And here's another issue. Sometimes you fix one, and then another dotted blue line will pop up in the same sentence. Word usually only underlines the first one in a sentence. Anyway, to get Word to help you find where you have passive voice, click on the File button in the top ribbon. So that blue, well, mine's blue. The top blue ribbon up there, you have a button that the very left, it says File. So you push on the File button in the top ribbon. You scroll down to More and click it. And then click Options. A box will pop up. And in the left column of that box, look for the word Proofing. You will see a dark heading that states, when correcting spelling and grammar in Word. Under that heading, you will see a button that says Grammar and Refinements. And next to that button, you'll see a button that says Settings. Click Settings. Scroll down to the heading Clarity. So there's a darker thing. It says Clarity. Then look for the check boxes beside passive voice and passive voice with unknown actor. That was like 6 through 10 that we just did. The unknown actor. Okay, make sure there is a check mark in both of those boxes, passive voice and passive voice with unknown actor. Then click OK. If I went too fast for you, then you can also Google how to check for passive voice in Microsoft Word, and Google will walk you through it, or you can screenshot the steps or something. And usually after you set it up, then it'll be set up the same way in every new document you open, so you don't have to worry about it after that. You just set it up the one time. Like I said earlier, don't worry about this during the creative phase. When you're creating, the juices are flowing, your wheels are turning, you just need to write. You don't need to worry about the blue lines and the blue dots. Just get it all out there. And then when you see the blue lines at first, you may feel overwhelmed with all the blue underlines or the blue dotted underlines that you have. But just fix one of them at a time while editing. Fix one, then fix the next one. And it will help you greatly improve your writing. Writing is fun. Creating stories is fun. Editing, well, it makes a better experience for our readers. It helps our readers have fun. And in this case, our stories will have more action. Our stories will move and proceed, which is what we want to happen. I hope you found value in today's episode. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe if you haven't already done so, and hit the bell so we can continue to write together. If you want to share your sentences in active voice from today's session, I will be happy to read them. Send them to writewithmykela@gmail.com. If you need a little more fun today, then visit my website and read some character bios from my Mykela series at www.bymykela.com. Remember, the website doesn't have all the characters from all my books as I would like, but I'm sending bios to the professionals as often as I can, and they're adding them to the website. Join me on Friday for story time. I will read Chapter 9, Marriage, from the City of the Ancients, and join me on Tuesday for another writing exercise or more jargon. I haven't decided yet what we will do. We have covered a lot, so I may just give us a short writing prompt, something to get rid of all those emotions that we did the last couple of Tuesdays and passive voice from today. We'll do something fun. Thank you for joining me today. I appreciate your participation. If you know someone who would like this video, then please share it with them. This is Mykela with Write with Mykela. Bye for now.